What up, everybody? It's your boy Musa here, back with my guy Ty and Mike. We here with another episode of the Pick Six Show. How's everyone doing today?
Doing good. How about you?
Doing great.
Doing great, man. You know, a lot of you guys had picked LSU to win. I think last week I told y'all Bama was going to route them. We got some interesting games from college last night, but we're going to say that for the Wednesday show. First things first, man. If you're watching, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment on the channel, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's free to show some love. Way to give you guys some great NFL, college football content each week on Wednesdays and Sundays. So we're going to get right into it. We got some impressive wins on Thursday night and last Sunday. We're going to start off with the recap for week 9. But we're going to first talk about the Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions with some key pivotal wins over their divisional rivals in the Cincinnati Bengals and the Green Bay Packers. We can start off with the Lions-Packers game. Anyone want to go first to share their thoughts on that game, how that went, how the Lions looked, how the Packers looked?
It was definitely I think it was a wire-to-wire victory for the Lions. Jared Goff showed he could redeem himself for being able to play outside in the elements after the bad game in Chicago last year. And one thing I didn't like was them ejecting the guy on Detroit, I believe it was. I think that was a pretty soft thing to do over that hat. Like, I understand the personal foul, but there's no need to eject him. But I think it was pretty clear, too, the whole game that Jordan Love was definitely injured. Not that that's I think the Lions still would have won regardless, even if he was healthy. But I wonder if they contemplate maybe sitting him for, I believe they have a bye this week, if they contemplate sitting him for a few weeks just to get him healthy, to if they can get a few winnable games coming up. Because I know they play Miami. They should be able to win that one. I don't know the rest of the schedule, but I just think it would be a wise move for them going into the playoffs.
You can go, Ty.
Yeah, so pretty much the Lions did what I said they were going to do last week, and what they have been doing the rest of the season was pretty much just not making mistakes. So they let Jordan Love and the Packers make all those mistakes, and they just kept doing what they keep doing and just scoring off those mistakes. You know, a lot of teams can lead the league in turnovers, but if you're not scoring off those turnovers, there's no point. But I think for the Lions, I still think they're the best team in the NFL because day in, day out, they're just proven. I don't know what else can stop them other than Dan Campbell making an idiot decision, but he hasn't so far. So I think it looks good for them. Easily number 1 seed in the NFC. But we'll see how the rest of the division games go for them.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, since you touched on it, I want to give him Dan Campbell some credit. Actually, you know, we've been hard on him from his past decision making that potentially cost him a Super Bowl berth last season. It seems like up to this point he's learned from that, as well as the team has learned from these experiences, and they come into the season laser focused, knowing what they have to do, knowing the goal, putting the team first, and it's showing. What I love most about this Detroit team is they're showing us that they've done it in the past since Dan's been there, but they're showing us that they can win in multiple different ways. Like last week we talked about it. They touched on it. They won by their defense. This week's game, Goff didn't play his best game this season. He wasn't bad, but it wasn't a Goff game we have been seeing all year, and they still got the job done. They know how they could play a dirty, slow game and could still beat you in that way because of how good their run game is. And like I mentioned in the past, you got Lightning and Thunder back there, and Montgomery and Gibbs. With that O-line, you can limit other players on the field and have a bigger time of possession, keeping your defense fresh. And that's going to be key for them, especially without Hutchinson. So I love everything that they're doing as far as what they did last week and outside the state, outside the dome, on the field. Getting to the Packers. I know I had them coming out the NFC. I had them winning this division, but like you guys touched on it when we talked about it, if Love's not healthy, they're not going to go far. And I agree with Mike. You can definitely see how he just didn't look like himself out there. You could tell he's hindered, but I'm not going to give no excuses because you can go out there. I got to treat you as such as if you're healthy, even though we know you're not. But I have to be fair in this case, especially when it comes to football, because any given Sunday, well, in this case, Monday or Thursday too. But I like some of the things that I did see from the Packers. I think 13 carries for Jacobs is not bad, but I would love to see him get the ball a little bit more. He didn't make the most of it. They gotta, and that's because they was down in the hole after that first half. But Love throwing it almost 40 times is not. It's not gonna sustain. You're not gonna win games that way. I think you have to balance it out more with the run game and more RPOs. And I think Matt LaFleur will do that. It just goes back to the point of them staying healthy. But with that big win by Detroit, they got a stronghold on the division now. It's their division to lose. I think they are the clear-cut number one team in the NFC at least. The number one team in the NFL, I'm not mad at that. You can make an argument it can be Kansas City, despite how poorly they've been playing all year and still been managed to win games. But yeah, that's all I really got for the Packers and the Lions. I do believe the Packers are on a bye week this week, Mike.
Yeah, I to yours and Ty's point, I still think Kansas City is the best team in the NFL till proven otherwise. Even if they did take a loss, because it's just the style of ball they play. They're not the flashy offense, but they're going to control the clock with the ball. They're not going to let you get the ball and win on defense, which is going to result in a lot of one-score wins. But we'll see what happens. I think Lions are definitely the best team in the NFC, and it's their conference to lose.
For sure. And those watching, real quick, we have a live game right now in Munich, Germany, with the Giants and the Carolina Panthers. It's 4:45 left in the game in the third quarter. Carolina is in the red zone after the Giants won, and they're up 10-7. Oh. We gotta show all the teams love, Mike, even the bad ones.
Yeah, we should have Drew Lock playing quarterback right now for the Giants, man.
Oh, absolutely. Bryce Young looks kind of solid, and I wasn't expecting that against this defense, but the way the offense is looking, there's no surprise that
it's Chuba, though. He's carrying him once again. Like, I don't know his exact rushing number, but he's got to be over 100 yards. I know they got a 3rd and goal coming up right here, but I think he's the one carrying it. Like, yeah, Bryce had the nice drive in the beginning, but you just like if this defense can play at this level, he can win just by not turning the ball over.
Yeah, Hubbard is at 137.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have definitely took him on the slip. But we'll get to our daily picks later in the show. Next, we're gonna get into that.
Yep. We're
gonna get into that Bengals and Ravens Thursday night game. That was interesting to say the least. I figured it was gonna be a tough matchup because it's a divisional matchup. I didn't expect it to go the way it did, but my Ravens still was able to hang on and win that game. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on how that Thursday night game went.
Before we get into that, your Ravens when you're wearing a Patriots sweatshirt.
Oh, I'm sorry, my Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, okay. I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. I like Derrick Henry too.
Yeah.
But
Nah,
I'm a
I
Lamar
love.
Jackson fan first and foremost.
No, I feel you. I love Lamar, man. I'm pissed that Miami didn't draft him. Everyone says, "Oh, you should have taken Justin Herbert." No, I'll take Tua over Justin Herbert any day. But that's the one guy I'm mad we didn't get was
I
Lamar.
ain't with you on that. You was with me like this until you said two over Herbert. Then you just nah.
Yeah. But
I bet you guys would have won more playoff. I bet you guys would have had a deeper run with Herbert than Tua.
we wouldn't win a playoff game no matter who's there, man. It's just the way the franchise. It's a poverty franchise, bro, to say the least. But the Thursday night game, another one hell of a game between these two teams. If they both make it into the playoffs, I'd love to see this matchup again. Basically, like I don't want to discredit the Ravens at all, but the Bengals lost the game more than the Ravens won it because they had the lead in the first half, even in the going into the third quarter, midway through the third, I believe. Then you have the opportunity to go into overtime. It's not like Tucker's nails anymore. He misses a lot of kicks.
We're gonna have that conversation in a moment about
yeah.
Tucker.
You go for two right there. I don't get it. I'm glad you didn't get the flag because you didn't deserve it based on that stupid decision, and stupid play should not be rewarded. And I think the better team definitely won this game, and I think Cincinnati's going to look a lot different next year. I think we're going to see Higgins gone, Chase gone. It's going to be a much different outlook on that franchise next year.
They should have paid Chase during halftime.
Yeah, use that money that they sold from the TVs in the summer.
Yeah, Mike pretty much touched base on that. That was a classic game if I've seen one. Honestly, both offenses really wasn't. At first, it was a slow game, but in that second half, man, crazy. Perfect game by Lamar Jackson. I just don't know how anyone still discredits Lamar Jackson anymore because it just doesn't make sense. He does everything, and like there's no stopping the guy. But pretty much to your point, Musa, they should have paid Chase. Honestly, they should have paid him in the offseason before week 1 when he was holding out because he single-handedly kept them in that game. And honestly, I would have kicked that extra point because going for 2 in that situation, in hindsight, it was smart. But if you've seen how it was executed, it was dumb. Because they tried it the first time so that the coach can read the defense and see how the defense was set up before the 2-point. But they motion, try to get them to jump, don't, and they go for it again. And when they go for it again, they throw it in their tight end who's in triple coverage. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
I gotta ask you, man. Oh, go ahead, Ty. Finish up.
And to Jamar Chase's point, he's always open. And honestly, I believe him. He's always open.
Just real quick, can you it still baffles me how Joe Burrow had the luxury of throwing the ball to not only Jamar Chase, but Justin Jefferson that year in LSU. Like that, arguably the 2 best receivers in the NFL. Well, we know Jettis is number 1, but you can make an argument someone for 2 if you really wanted to make the case. I don't think there is a case, but it's just how the cards was dealt. But back to this Thursday night game. I missed that last 4 or 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. I honestly changed the channel because I thought the game was out of reach at this point. And then I get up in the morning, I see the final score is 35-34. I was like, how the hell? But then it clicked to me. It makes sense. It's the Ravens defense. And I hate saying that because when you think about Ravens in the history, the defense is never the issue. And I just want to say Lamar might win this third MVP, but no one's going to care because if that defense can't hold up. He's going to lose again in the playoffs when it matters most. And the netters are going to continue. People are going to still continue to say he's a running back when he's clearly not a running back. I just want to ask, how many running backs can go 25 or 33, 290, 4 touchdowns, no picks? He's thrown, I believe, 24 touchdowns all season last year. He won MVP. He's at 24 now. And we still have 7-8 games left. Like I just don't know what else they want to see from him. Other than him winning in the playoffs, obviously. But all in all, I think they came out slow. But I expected it to be a rugged type of game because of the division matchup. But I don't think the Bengals lost this game. I think the Ravens took it because in the second half they made their adjustments and they came out and punched them in the mouth first, and it showed. Although since the Baltimore defense did, like Marcus Williams giving up that blown coverage to Chase on the very first play is like that can't happen. Those are the plays that I referenced to why I believe it's going to be even much harder for the Baltimore to come out the AFC, let alone win the Super Bowl, even though I still got them as my pick. But because of situations like that where the defense can't be fundamentally sound, and they got to clean that up because they got everything else. I know Deontay Johnson still hasn't really fully got incorporated into the offense yet. That concerns me a bit. I think that I would expect them to give him a little bit of gadget plays here and there just to get him in rhythm, get him comfortable. But hopefully in due time. I heard some rumors that there's some frustrations. I don't think that's true, but we'll see. On the Bengals, really quickly, I will say I don't think they're making the playoffs. I don't see it because of the way that defense keeps blowing leads or can't get any stops. They have some moments on Thursday, but it's the consistency where I'm having concern with. Burrow's gonna do what Burrow's gonna do. Chase Brown's been solid for them. Chase is gonna continue to do what he does, especially without Higgins. But I think it's gonna be just too much to overcome. If they're lucky, they could get the wild card spot, but I don't see it at this moment. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to see them in the playoffs, just not against my Lamar Jackson-led Ravens. Had to catch that this time, Mike. But yeah, that's kind of what my thoughts is about that game. I think Burrow looked good. He shouldn't have to throw 56 times. They got to find another way to run the ball. The O-line's still terrible, but that's my thoughts on that game.
One thing about Deontay Johnson, I just want to say, I know. What did you hear that he's not having? Like he's mad that he's not getting the targets.
Yes, that's what I heard rumors about, but I'm not sure. I've seen rumors about him making a post right after the game about his targets or something. But again, I don't really get into all that stuff on social media or believe everything that's put out there because everything is narrative driven. So I take it with a grain of salt. But
because the only thing I'm gonna say to that is it might be true because I've heard of like a lot of the guys who worked in the NFL before and have close ties to the GMs. He's on a lot of the team's blacklist. They want nothing to do with him because of the off the field stuff, the way he is. So as I said, I don't know how true that is either, but that's just what I've heard. So they might just be trying to push that narrative too. But I could definitely see if that's what they're saying is true. But this is just like the Jets. Why did you go out and get him? You don't need him. Rashad Bateman, he's very underrated. Nelson Aguilar, you got good receivers over there in Baltimore. What you really need to do is go out and get some defensive guys. And I know you probably don't like.
They got Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, bro, come on. You know that's as much as a joke as I do. But even a kicker, man. Like I know Justin Tucker, the name is great, but he ain't the same kicker he used to be. And it's just it might come down to a big field goal in the playoffs. Or do you want to be like what was his name, Billy Cundiff, I believe it was at Fox and Gillette when he missed those kicks 2 times, I believe. So playoff games are going to come down to that. And you need a kicker and you need defense. If you don't have either one of those two things, I think you're going to be a first round out no matter who you play. But one thing, too, is I think Derrick Henry, they're going to have to readjust the way they use him because teams can go look off of the film that Cincinnati's done. They know how to shut him down. They've done it twice now. So there's something that they can pick up where they know where and when he's going to run that other teams are going to pay attention to, and we'll see if other teams can capitalize on it going forward.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with Mitchell coming back now. I think he was active. I don't think he got much play on Thursday, but he's active now. I agree with everything you said for the most part. It's kind of like a wait and see game. And don't get me wrong, shout out to Tre'Davious White, but off those two injuries, he's clearly not the same corner he was once he was in Buffalo or coming out of LSU. So I don't know how much of a needle mover he's going to be for that defense. I like the Deontay Johnson pickup. I don't think it was going to change much though, like you said, but considering they don't have a clear-cut one at that position. So that's why I like them adding him only for some fact he can at least get close to a 1A, 1B type of production if given the opportunity. Because he's shown flashes of doing that in Pittsburgh. The problem is that team is kind of run heavy. And I know that could be iffy to say considering how many times Lamar throws the ball. But their bread and butter is the run game. And I agree. I think they should have went and got some more assets on the defensive end. Any last remarks before we move on to the recap of Week 9?
That's all I got for that game.
Perfect. We're gonna moving on. We're gonna get to the Week 9 recap. We have some good games during that week. Some questionable games, and you have some games you just turn a blind eye to.
Like the one over in Munich right now.
That's a tough watch.
Yeah, we're gonna act like this game ain't on.
And if you want to make it any worse, I picked the Giants defense this week in our fantasy league, and I'm seeing like at all times to pick up that team. This is what I get. That's neither here nor there. But
they make Bryce Young look like Steve Young.
No comment. We're gonna start off with Mike's favorite game last week on Week 9, the Dolphins versus the Bills. Bills end up winning a close game. Tua's back. He played pretty solid, if I might say. But the Bills prevail, 30-27 final score. I'll let it hear you guys' thoughts on this game. The Bills have not lost a game at home this season, and they're 7-2 overall.
So this is one time when I'm ashamed to be a Dolphins fan. I hear the Dolphins fan base complaining about the flag on Jordan Poyer and saying he's the worst Dolphin to ever put on a uniform. How can we get mad at a player that's trying to make a play? You just because you see it on replay doesn't mean any human can see that in real time not to make that hit. And second off, they're an undisciplined team. Everyone blames that play when it was really Chop Robinson who jumped off sides, which it would have been a 66-yard field goal, and it turned into a 61-yarder. But they're a soft, undisciplined team, and I can't believe they kept it this close, to be honest with you. And I think the state of the team is much worse than it appears in that game, and I don't see them doing anything this year. I see the Rams winning tomorrow night, whether Tyreek plays or not. I think that's a non-factor. McVay versus McDaniel, that coaching matchup is a joke. I'll take McVay every time. And I'm ready to move on to next season, man. I don't want to tank. I still want us to try to win out because it's not like we need draft picks. We just need to construct the roster better. But I'm all out on this season. I don't think the Bills are all that great either. And I know today Amari Cooper and Keon Coleman are injured, so they're already thin at wide receiver. I don't think the Bills are going to really do anything in the playoffs.
All right. Ty, your thoughts?
Sheesh. Yeah, to Mike's point, I still don't think the Bills are good. Well, as good as everyone makes them to be out. to be. I just think beating up on your AFC division rivals, that's like the easiest thing you can do. It's pretty much the same thing Atlanta's doing over there in the South. It just doesn't, give me anything to be like, okay, this is a legit threat. They're obviously going to make the playoffs. To Miami side of things, I agree with Mike. It's pretty much done. At this point, they might
That
as
brings me
well.
so much joy.
they might as well dump these contracts to like Jalen Ramsey and people like that, Tyreek Hill, and just start fresh.
One thing I just want to add on to that is we just read up both of those guys this year. This is what makes this even worse.
Exactly.
Yeah. And Jalen Ramsey, I think he should stay because we need all the help we can get on defense. But I want Tyreek traded before the trade deadline because he said 2 years ago.
Deadline passed, didn't it?
Yeah. So we can't trade him unless it's in the offseason because he said he's retiring after next year. No one remembers this, but he said he's going to go into an esports company or something. I don't know if he's still going to follow through on that, but I don't see a good future with this team unless they I know they're gonna fire the GM after this year. Whether they fire the coach, that's questionable. Seeing they just read him up, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I guess it's my go. This game, I'll be honest, like y'all guys know how I feel about division matchups, even if they're sorry teams or not. I knew it was going to be a close game, especially with Tua coming back. It almost didn't shock me that the Dolphins almost got the win and the Bills almost blew the game. That call on Poyer was heartbreaking, but once I seen it, I was just like, okay, the game's over. If Buffalo knows how to do anything right, because I remember last time they should have won a game like this, Allen had a brain fart in the red zone, on the opposite team's red zone. So they hung on, they got the kick, they won the game. I think Allen could be a dark horse if he gets the numbers up, but I don't think he's going to get MVP the way Lamar's been playing, or Goff, or Henry for that matter. The Dolphins, I think it's just time for them to. I honestly want them to get a new quarterback. The problem is they have all the money tied into Tua, Waddle, Hill, so they can't, right? So my best bet to them is honestly, maybe you should trade Hill, or maybe you keep Hill and trade Waddle. See what's out there for Waddle. Something has to spice up. You can keep the team intact because I don't think you have to panic. I think you keep this team, this group intact. Get a new coach. Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Ben Johnson, I think is his name.
Yeah, Detroit OC.
Yep. And see where you can go with that. You could just toss the season in the bag because I don't think they're gonna be able to make the playoffs being 2-6. If they was maybe 4-6 like Cincinnati, I could give them a little bit more hope because regardless of how we all feel, that team when they have Tua there, the offense is gonna click. Because they have the speed around him and he can get the plays. But I just don't see how they can get back into swinging things right now. It'll have to take a huge, dramatic downfall in the AFC for them to even make the playoffs. And the AFC, after the first few teams anyways, is not much to boast about. So that's it about the Dolphins. The Bills, they're playing who's in front of them. They're doing what they got to do. They're winning games no matter how they do it. Do I think they're a legit contender? Kinda. It depends on the matchup in the playoffs. I don't see them beating Baltimore if they play Baltimore. I don't think they're beating Kansas City. So Houston's of the world. That's going to be a good game too. The Houston's of the world, I think they can fare with Houston because of Houston's injuries and things of that nature. Nico Collins, I think, is playing today, so that's good for him to be back and healthy. But I just don't have much stock out on the Bills other than them winning the division, which I should have just took them in the first place, but I was blinded by the Jets, and I don't know why the hell I did that. Should just went with my gut. But
on Nico Collins, he's questionable for tonight, by the way.
He's questionable.
Yeah, and then the one thing I just want to say too is I don't think they should go out and get another quarterback. I'm fine with Tua. They just need a backup behind him that's capable of playing. And I know Ty, you probably saw the game too. The Rams Seahawks game. They had that same call, and the flag got picked up. I thought they made the right call there, and I'm not going to complain about the Dolphins Bills call because the ref made the right call. Like just I said earlier, so people don't get confused. The ref made the right call. I'm not complaining about the call at all.
Gotcha. We're gonna get to the next game. We're gonna recap. We can do Ty a solid. We can do Ty a solid. We can talk about the Rams and the Seahawks. The overtime win. This was a good game. Stafford is he first ballot Hall of Famer?
I think that ring made him a first ballot Hall of Famer. He has the stats.
He does.
He has the stats. Just being in Detroit all those years kind of hinders that. But at the end of the day, we got to stop blaming a lot of quarterbacks for the organization, how it's set up, you know.
Definitely say more on this. Yep, this is a good point.
But that game closer than it should have been, because the Seahawks, like I said, they're just not that good. I don't know if it's because there's no DK, or what, but they honestly, Geno Smith is just playing like Baker Mayfield. That's either a good thing or a bad thing, depending how you look at it. Yeah, when you commit it, what did Geno have? I think he had 3 interceptions, 4 touchdowns. You can't do that. You can't do that. But I do want to give credit to the Rams defense, because the start of the season on the podcast, I said this defense was terrible.
They got the DPOY, the rookie, in my eyes.
I didn't expect a defense full of rookies to actually, prove anything. And especially these last 4 weeks, you can kind of say they haven't played any legit contenders. But still, when the defense holds you down, the offense doesn't even have to do much. The only reason why that game went into overtime is because Puka Nacua got ejected for the most softest punch I've ever seen. And Seattle was just doubling Cup the whole time. So that, which led to Demarcus Robinson going off. So that was pretty much a good thing. But
shout out to Chris Shula.
I do believe that NFC West division, I'll give San Fran the benefit of getting CMC back today. So I would say it's a 3-legged race between the Rams, Cardinals, and San Fran. But obviously, you know who I'm gonna give the edge to.
Of course, and we're gonna touch on that division in a few moments with the Cardinals, also. But I want to also give a shout out to Chris Shula, your defensive coordinator, because he's doing a phenomenal job with that group on defense. Like you mentioned, there's a lot of rookies on that defense, and each week they gotten better and better, and you see that flashes. I forgot what game it was with the Rams, but I remember the announce crew was talking about how the rookie D tackle, I can't remember his name, forgive me. He ran into Aaron Donald at dinner, and Donald kind of gave
Verse.
Yes, Jared Verse. Thank you, Kyle. The name was going blank. He ran into Aaron Donald during dinner, and Donald was like, "Now you could come over," and gave him like some more pointers on how to attack the the offensive line and stuff like that. So you can see Darnold still has some touch on this team. It's good to see. I love everything about the Rams as far as their uniforms, where they play at. That's about it. I do like Stafford. I like Kyron Williams and stuff, but I really do love where you guys are going. And if you guys don't make the playoffs, having a decent middle of the pack pick in this draft can go a long way for you guys. It just sucks because Stafford's not a young buck anymore. He's long in the tooth now. So it's kind of like times of the essence. And I would love to see these guys in another playoff run because y'all offense is legit when everything's clicking. With Cooper, Nakua, Kyron, hell, Tutu Atwell, DeMarcus Robinson got the game winning touchdown. And overtime, it's like Stafford knows how to make water into wine. That's one thing I'll give him. So credit to those guys. Sean McVay's doing a good job. So yeah. Since we're already on that topic, I figure we could transition real quick before we cover a few more games on week 9. We can get into that division and whether or not are the Cardinals going to win that division. They're above 500 now. They had an impressive win last week against the Bears in a rout, 29-9. I believe they're leading the division now. So I'll let it hear you guys' thoughts on that division in the NFC West and who you guys think will come out at this point. Quick breaking news: we got the Giants have finally scored. It's 14-17. Giants have the ball on their 35, 1st and 10.
Danny Dimes got the Russian touchdown. Too bad he can't throw, but yeah, I think the Cardinals are clear-cut best team in the NFC West. I don't think CMC coming back is going to make a difference for the 49ers. They got a big injury bug, and I think that Cardinals defense is underrated. They're a very well-coached team because even Kyler, they're very selective on his running plays. So when he does run, he can get some big gains chunked off. So as I said a few weeks ago, I think the Cardinals are going to win that division. I don't know if they'll do anything in the playoffs, but I for sure got them in the West.
So you can go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals right now have the best chance to win that division because you're already leading the division, and the other two teams who are in that consideration, you already beat them earlier this season, so. They do have the best chance, I think. Do I think they will? No, because like I said last week, they're just escaping with wins. I don't think they had a true. This is a statement win. They always found ways to win these games, and now we're like, oh, they're above 500, but questionable calls and other things can turn that win into a loss like that. So I think CMC will be good. I don't think he'll be great as he once was, but San Francisco's still playing good. We're playing good without him, so it's never a bad thing to get him, and especially in that playoff race. I just think, honestly, I would say Arizona or the Rams is coming out of that division. It's very tough. All three good teams, but we'll see who's really true.
Yes, and now I'm gonna pull up their remaining schedule. We can kind of go through and see where you guys feel on the wins-loss column. Real quick, I know you mentioned how they won close games, which is like I always said, that's always one or two teams that do that each season. Sometimes more times than not, it's teams that we don't see. In this case, it's the Arizona Cardinals. I just want to ask you guys, if the Cardinals were to win out, that let's not win out's the wrong term. Let's say if the Cardinals do win that division, do you think they have any chance in the wild card against anyone or to make any playoff noise? And the same thing goes with the Rams if they were to win.
Probably not, but it depends on who they play. Well, one thing I want to say to Ty's point, I know he said they're not blowing out teams at close games. I put much more stock in close games than blowouts because that way, when you get in the close games, you got that experience. Teams that just keep blowing out teams, when they get in those close games, they look like a fish out of water sometimes. But getting back to the playoff thing, I could see them if I don't think the Vikings are going to win the North. I could see the Cardinals beating the Vikings. Maybe the Bears if they got a wild card spot. Well, actually, because if they won the division, they would have one of those two teams in the wild card. So I can see them beating one of those teams, maybe. But short of that, I don't see them beating anyone else. Maybe the Eagles. If the Eagles get into the playoffs, they could definitely beat them. I think they're first round out if they make it.
Yeah, I was gonna mention for those watching, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. And for those who are not too familiar with how the NFL works, the team that wins their division gets a home game for the first round. So if the Cardinals were to win, their first playoff game will be in Arizona. And it's the same thing for the Rams. Real quick, actually, I'll let Ty answer that question, and then we can get into the schedules.
It's going to be tough because assuming if the records stay how they are, and if teams who are already leading the division, like the Lions, like the Commanders, if all those teams stay hot, the NFC West is probably that fourth seed. So then to put it in perspective, you're facing you're facing the second seed, and the NFC North, which could be the Vikings or the Packers or even the Bears, however that ends up with. Or you're facing Philly, who, So I think it's going to be tough to win a playoff game. They are playing good at home, so I'll give them that. So to be in Arizona for that playoff game can probably give them an edge. But winning a game, I don't think so in the playoffs.
And how about the Rams?
Without
being biased.
Yeah, they're going to the Super Bowl, bro.
No. Now, if that defense literally plays how they have been playing, then I do think they can. It's just nothing on the Cardinals offensively or defensively shows me that it's clear cut that they're better than this team. But the Rams already beat the Vikings, so if they match up again, I think they will beat them again, and especially being in LA. Philly, I can see the Rams being Philly. I can also see the Cardinals being Philly. But I just think Arizona, it's going to be hard, especially when you haven't won a playoff game in years. So
I agree. All right. I'll answer the question real quick. I do think the Cardinals can win their first wild card game at home, depending on who they're matched up with. I think they have a good chance. Then, as far as the Rams go, I think the Rams have a chance to even get to a conference championship, depending on who they matched up with, because of how potent that offense is. But that's only if Puka and Cooper can stay healthy. If they can stay healthy, I give them a puncher's chance. So that's my thoughts. Real quick, Joseph Austin has a comment. Who the hell is going to outscore the Lions?
Didn't you say this last week?
Yeah, I think that's towards me because I brought that up. But I said the Packers, and I was wrong clearly. Yeah, we was touching base on that earlier in the show where we said we gave the Lions their credit for sure. We applaud them for being able to win in many different ways. We also acknowledge that Jordan Love didn't look right out there. You could tell he's still nagging with the injuries, but we gave them no excuse nonetheless. So that's a quick little wrap up if you just tuned in. For those watching right now, we just going over the NFC West. I think the Cardinals can win that division. They're in first place currently, or will the Rams steal that division from them? And right now, we're going to go through the remaining schedules for the Cardinals and the Rams. We're going to give our thoughts on whether or not they can win these games and which team will probably end up coming out based on the remaining schedule. We're going to start off with the Rams, and I believe they are on a bye this week. No, then they play Monday night actually.
Well, they faced Miami, so that's
Miami,
that's kind of a bye.
Yeah,
not too much. Mike might agree on you with that.
It's not him. It's the defense. Defense sucks.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey hasn't really looked too good this season.
Got a pick last week, but other than that, he hasn't done nothing.
Yeah. But real quick, who y'all got winning that game? Do you think the Rams win that game? They're home, by the way.
Yeah, I got Rams with the spread, no matter how high the spread goes.
All right. Next, they're at New England. I might try to get tickets for this game. Hold on now.
Yeah, I'm going.
Who, the Rams?
The Rams are going to be in New England on the 17th.
Yeah, no matter how high the spread is, I got the Rams on that one as well.
You know who I'm going with? No, I'm trolling. I might well go with them, but it all depends. A lot can happen in 2 weeks. Next, at the Patriots, they have a home game versus the Eagles. Sunday night game.
I got the Rams.
I might lean Eagles here.
That's a tough one. That's a toss-up.
I might lean the Eagles here. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a coaching mismatch again, just like the
Miami in Philly game. Or at home?
Nah, you guys are home.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. I think the Rams.
He's like, yeah. I like the chances now. So it seems like so far you guys got them going 3-0 right now.
Yep.
Okay. I got them at least 2-1 because I think they'll lose to Philly. Next game, they're at New Orleans.
Yeah, I got the Rams.
The silence spoke volumes, I see. So, yep. Right now, currently, Mike and Ty have them going 4-0 starting tomorrow. Then the next game they have at home against Buffalo.
I'm going to go with Buffalo for that game.
Yeah, Buffalo. I'll give it to Buffalo.
I'm actually gonna pick. I'm gonna pick the Rams. I think the Rams win this game. Next game is a Thursday night game, so it's a short week, and they're at San Fran, which is probably a couple hours away.
I got the 49ers in that game.
I
might go Rams here. Rams always play since Stafford's been there too. They always played them pretty well, I must say.
Yeah, they just end up losing in San Francisco usually.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Niners actually because I had the Niners. I had the Rams beating Buffalo. No, I had Buffalo winning actually. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams. Short week. I think they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I'll take the Rams.
Smooth. Next, we have they're at New York against the Jets. Just want to remind you guys, it's the end of December, so it's probably gonna be snowy. It's gonna be a cold game. So them players in LA don't like the cold weather. So.
Neither does Aaron Rodgers. They'll probably be in Egypt for that game.
Matthew Stafford was in Michigan for years.
He was in a dome.
Yeah.
But he
was in a
lived
dome
there for years. You know?
I got the Rams, man. It doesn't matter. where they're playing. I don't care. I think the Rams blow them out.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna try too much, try to prove every time he plays Stafford, tries to prove something. He low-key hates him. So I'll go with the Rams.
I'm gonna go Rams. I think it's gonna be a close game though. Yeah, I know, Mike. Close game. Jets don't go together, but
they do go together. They just don't win. They don't come out on the right side of it.
Fair enough. Next game they have Arizona. It's to be determined. It's a flex game, so they don't know whether or not they don't have a time slot yet. Yeah, this is week 17.
Oh, 17, okay.
Yeah, they have Arizona, and they're home this time.
I got Arizona.
I want to make sure. They lost to Arizona, too, earlier in week 2. They got blown out. Jesus.
Yeah. That was the Arizona. Cup got injured, I believe, and Naku was already injured.
Yeah,
this is a big game.
They're not getting swept by the Cardinals.
I thought Tyler was about to turn on the camera for that one.
Cardinals.
I might go with Ty on this. I don't think the Rams are going to get swept. So I'm gonna go Rams on this one. But they're gonna have to win big because if the records are close, that point differential is going to be key. Unless either one of them loses another division game, which comes to the conclusion of the Rams' schedule. Last game of the season, it's a flex game, so there's no time slot yet. They're playing at home against Seattle.
The Rams.
I got to go with Seattle for this one because that game, there's no way Seattle should have lost that game last Sunday. Geno threw a pick 6 for 100 some odd yards and then threw another pick down inside the 10. Just if DK, especially if DK's there, I got to go with Seattle after what I saw last week. The Rams got lucky to come out on top of that.
But then again, if Geno keeps playing this way and they're still losing week 18, maybe Geno's not starting.
Yeah, Sam Howell, the backup, he's just another gunslinger. A lot of picks, a lot of yards.
Yeah, but into Seattle's point of view, if you're losing, wouldn't you just tank? You eventually need a quarterback. Do you get one of these quarterbacks? Are they even worth it?
See, I don't know, though. I see the word tank being thrown around a lot the past few days, and why are we tanking, man? We're only halfway through the season. I understand that's the last week of the season, but they could still be having a wild card spot to play for then. We don't know.
Yeah, but I'm saying if they keep losing in these up-and-coming weeks.
We'll see. Could be a hungry team wanting to knock them out, too.
I'm going to go Seattle this game. I don't think the Rams sweep Seattle. I do think I'm assuming DK will be playing this game. It's a lot of weeks ahead. Who knows? He might get shut down. We don't know yet. But as from what I'm going to go off of now, I'm going to give Seattle the edge. I think it's going to be a close game. I think those last 2 games of the season for the Rams is going to be some real tough games. It's going to be like playoff atmosphere-like games. Because I think it's going to come down to the wire between those Rams and the Cardinals for that division. So next, we're going to go over the Cardinals schedule real quick. They have today's 4:25 game. They got the Jets at home.
I got the Cardinals.
I think the Jets win this game.
Yeah, I actually got the Jets in this one.
I don't
know. Something tells me that they're going to win the game they're not supposed to. I think
they probably shouldn't have won last week, and they did, thanks to Will Anderson injury and no Nico Collins or Steph Diggs. But
valid point. They have a bye week in week 11, and then they come back. They got 2 road games back to back. The first one's at Seattle.
I got Seattle.
I got Arizona.
Oh, wait, no, we're talking about the Cardinals, not the Jets. I'm sorry, I got Arizona. I got the 2 teams confused. I was still stuck on the Jets. My bad.
You got mediocre confused with mid. I mean, you got mediocre confused with trash. I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, trash versus the can tell know what I'm talking about, but
I'm gonna go Arizona. Actually, no, I'm gonna go Seattle this game. I think Seattle wins this game at home. Next they're on the road again. They played the Vikings.
I get Arizona.
This could get tricky. I don't know. I'll go Arizona. Before the comments be like I'm biased.
You know, I got the Vikings. I got the Vikings this game.
I just think the Vikings are big frauds. And they're gonna get.
I do think the Vikings are frauds. So.
All right. The next game they're home this time against the Seahawks.
Got Arizona again.
I got Arizona winning this game. So y'all got both these teams winning out so far. Interesting. Okay. I got.
Well,
this is where
I forgot they faced Seattle twice in the next what is that 4 or 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they can. I think splitting will happen. I don't think they beat up on Seattle twice.
Yeah, I agree. So
since I had them first, I'll just take Seattle now.
Sounds good. I got Arizona winning this game at home. Next, they got the Patriots at home.
I got Arizona no matter what the spread is.
Arizona.
You know who I'm rocking with. And I ain't trolling for this one. You know who I'm rocking with.
They can't contain running backs. How are they going to contain a running back and not because we got Lamar Jackson, one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the league?
Hey, they're gonna have to contain Drake May.
Yeah.
I can't be serious when it comes to the Patriots. I honestly don't mind them winning a few of these games though, because I don't want them with the number one pick. If the draft was to start today, they had a number one pick. I don't think they need it. So winning some of these games get you within that 3 to 5 range, and we in good business.
I don't know. I think the number one pick kind of smart.
He knows they're going to mess it up. He knows they're going to mess it up. That's why he doesn't want them to get the number one.
Yeah. I don't. Because
we have there's no Bill anymore, so you don't have to worry about Will Campbell going number one.
Well, that's who you want.
You
number
right.
one, though.
No. You right. There is no Bill.
You want Will Campbell. I agree, but
I don't think we take Will Campbell.
I think if you have the number one pick, and I feel like there's gonna be obviously 4 teams that's gonna be QB needy, and I think a lot of these teams are gonna fall in love with all these different quarterbacks, and I think one team out there is gonna make a dumb decision and trade up for one of these quarterbacks.
So the only 2 quarterbacks that I'm hearing getting most of the traction is Shador and Cam Ward. Everyone else slipped tremendously.
Yeah, but you know these owners, bro. These owners have a meeting with one of these quarterbacks for 15 minutes. They go say some dumb stuff they read off of Google, and he's like, "Wow, I like this kid." So it can happen.
That's true too. My philosophy is I didn't want them to take Drake May in the first place. I wanted them to go get who was it? No, he didn't come out last year. Well, Joel,
Joel.
They should have got Marv.
Oh wait, he did go. He did come. I'm thinking about the other lineman that's playing right now for LSU. I'm mixing the two up. I actually didn't want him either. I wanted them to. I really wanted Jaden Daniels personally, but I knew that wasn't happening once I heard Washington had traction on him.
You can thank Chad Ryland for not having him.
I wanted them to trade down to get more picks, so they can be in this position they're in now to go get Travis or Shador, and they're kind of in the position now. They're obviously not going to take Shador, so I would love Travis Hunter, but realistically, we need help on the O-line. So, but we can move forward.
I was going to say, just other than Cam Ward, I don't think any of these quarterbacks are top third, should be drafted in the first 3 rounds. I know we'll probably see 3 or 4 of them come out, and probably even the top 10 picks, because seeing Bo Nix got drafted in the first round. But Patriots will probably draft Travis Hunter when they really need no lineman. That's just what I see them doing.
Now, if they can get some O linemen in the free agency, that's good. then that's perfect.
You got to pay them though.
I know, and that's what the point I was going to make. Because Tyson Bill's not there, which is true. But if you let Mike tell it, we still got Robert Kraft.
Yes.
But no, I would love to have Travis if we can sign some offensive linemen, but that will remain to be seen. I do know the top 2 quarterbacks is Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, and I think Shedor's the best quarterback to come out this upcoming draft. So, moving on, the Cardinals play Carolina at Carolina.
I got the Cardinals, no matter what the spread is.
Yeah, Cardinals.
Damn, tickets as low as $15.
Oh, they'll be lower by game time. Trust me.
Yeah, who really wants to see that game?
They had dollar tickets in Carolina last December.
After Carolina, they play the Rams on the road, but we already said we had the Rams winning that game.
I got Cardinals.
Yeah, Mike had Cardinals.
Okay,
we had Rams.
We had the Rams. Yep, my apologies. And then the last game for the Cardinals, they have the 49ers. And they're home, but that's going to be a tough game because if you're banking on the last game to decide the division winner, I like my chances with the Rams versus Seattle than I do Arizona against the Niners.
I got Cardinals again.
I'm going to go with Niners.
Yeah, I'm going 49ers.
All right.
Mike has the Cardinals sweeping the Rams and the Niners
and the Seahawks. Yeah, 6-0 in the division.
Mike high on those guys.
I am. They went under the radar, and I watched a few of their games, and I'm very impressed with what I see from them.
But that's my kind of issue with the Cardinals' schedule, because you got 4 division games in the second half. That's just like
that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. If they can win those games, it definitely can be legit contender. At least
it's
a
wild
card
or a bad thing,
Yes, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about Mike's favorite topic of the show so far, other than our pick'ems. We have the Chiefs going undefeated. Mike's been saying it since the preseason.
Nah, not that soon. I can't take that credit. I started like week 3, week 2, week 3.
Well, the Chiefs run the table. Who would like to start?
The only way I see them not running the table is, I believe, if my memory serves me correct, the Colts, what were they, 14-0? And they sat the starters for the last 2 games and ended up losing 1 or 2 games when I think it was Jim Caldwell was the coach, if I remember correctly. That's the only way I don't see, or if God forbid Patrick Mahomes gets hurt. Those are the two ways I don't see the Chiefs winning out. As long as those 2 things don't happen, I don't see them losing really. Playoffs, I think, depending on who comes out of the NFC, I think the Lions could definitely give them a run for the money. I still got the Chiefs personally, just based on experience, but we'll see what happens. I think we're going to get good games every week, no matter who they play. And if they do lose to a team in the regular season, I got the Broncos beating them in one of these 2 games. They always play them well.
Sheesh. I think they can. Will they? Probably not. And I don't think they want to either. Because especially going undefeated for the season, that just makes the playoffs
even more
intense, and you're already defending back-to-back champs. Last year it was good for them because people were downplaying the Chiefs. Other teams were like, oh, they lost to such and such, we could beat this team. And it didn't happen. But that schedule and playing in that division, I feel like you only have to worry about those division games. The next game they probably got to worry about is Buffalo, I think, next week.
Yeah, we're gonna go through their schedule in a moment.
So honestly, I think they can. I don't think they want to. And in Andy Reid fashion, to Mike's point, yeah, I can see 16-0, and you know you already got the number one seed locked up by then, I can see Andy Reid just benching starters.
On the flip side of that, though, he plays guys in the preseason. They would already have the bye and give him 2 weeks off, so he could still play them.
Realistically, yeah, but
Fair point.
probably like for one half. I don't think he'll risk it just to go undefeated.
Sure. Will the Chiefs run the table? No. I've been saying this since Mike's been saying it. I don't think they're gonna run the table. I would much rather them. Well, and they would agree with me. Obviously, they'll rather lose now than when it matters most. Because nobody wants to lose the biggest game or one of the biggest games in the playoffs after winning all the other games prior. If anyone would know that, it's me with the Patriots hoodie on. So that's just to clear that up. I don't think they're gonna run the table. If I was to choose a loss, I agree with Mike. It may be between the Broncos and the Bills. And actually, looking at the schedule, it could be Houston and Pittsburgh also. I'm probably going to lean against Pittsburgh if they were to run the table up until that point, which is a Christmas game. But we can get into their schedule really quickly. They're playing Denver in about 20-something minutes, 25, 27 minutes at home. I'm pretty sure we all got Denver for this first matchup.
You trying to make sure I'm paying attention or something?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, you know something we
I
don't.
got the Chiefs. Yeah.
You know something we don't know. Bounty Gate 3.0. Like, let me know.
I plead the fifth.
I got the Chiefs.
Chiefs. I agree. Now they're at Buffalo the next week.
I got the Chiefs.
At Buffalo.
I got Buffalo this game.
I got the Chiefs.
Nah, I'm kidding. I got the Chiefs. We all got them beaten Carolina, so we don't got to waste time on that.
You sure?
Yo, I'm just saying one thing. If there was a team that randomly, these teams go undefeated. Yeah, stop giving that look, bro. These teams go undefeated and just lose this random game to this bum team. I'm telling you, bro. Just don't be surprised.
Y'all better stop this.
Bryce Young has turned the corner, man. He might get 2 in a row.
I will say he didn't throw a pick, and I'm mad about that because I took your word for it.
Oh, it's about to go to OT, man. I'm telling you, as long as Gano doesn't miss the kick, it's going to OT.
Talk about Panthers beating the Chiefs. Man, listen, if they beat the Chiefs, we doing a show that day. I'll tell you right after. We're gonna do another episode. Ain't no way in hell that's happening. Not even God can save that game. Next up, they got the I'm about to say the Vikings. They got the Raiders versus the Chiefs. Chiefs is at home. Normally, I would like this game, but Josh Jacobs is not there. So
I got the Chiefs, but the Raiders know how to give them a tough time.
Yeah, they do. I think Brock Bowers has a big game. But then again, looking at their quarterback,
yeah,
I don't know.
They beat him on Christmas last year with no offensive touchdowns, I believe.
They had Josh Jacobs though, too. If they had Josh Jacobs still, then I'll be with you. Because you pair that with Brock, and I like Jacoby Myers still, so but I don't see them losing to the Raiders. Could happen though. It's a division game, so it could be a close game. Next, they have the Chargers. Herbert versus Mahomes.
I got the Chiefs.
And the Chiefs is home for this game.
Chiefs.
Yep, I'm with you, Ty. I got Chiefs as well. Next, they are at Cleveland.
I got the Chiefs. They ain't the Ravens. They don't lose to the Browns.
Yeah.
That's a low blow. That's a low blow. All right. That's what we doing here now.
Oh, bro, you got a Patriots sweatshirt on, bro. That's not a jab at Lamar or nothing. It's a jab at the Ravens.
But you know how I feel about the Ravens and Lamar, and especially after last year, they should have beat the Chiefs.
Lamar can't play.
And I don't like betting against Mahomes. but I want Lamar to get that ring. But
It's not on him. It's not on him. He can't play defense. He probably could, but they don't put him out there. That's what I should say.
Fair enough. Next they have Houston at home. The Chiefs are home against Houston.
I got the Chiefs.
This is a Saturday game too.
Chiefs.
Okay, Chiefs. I agree. This is I think it's gonna be a close game, but they're on a short week because dang, they did the Chiefs kind of nasty.
Wednesday.
So hold on.
Christmas,
Let me read this out, right?
Yeah.
They got the Sunday game on the 15th December against Cleveland. Fine. Then they play that Saturday, the 21st, at home against Houston. Then they gotta fly out for a Wednesday game at Pittsburgh. Yeah, I'm going Steelers that game.
If there's one guy to shut them down, I think it would be Mike Tomlin. And I think that could be an ugly game, like a 9-6 game, 12-9, something like that, like a typical Steeler game.
Think Mahomes throws a pick that game?
You know, he throws a pick almost every game, bro.
Facts.
I don't. Yeah, he does. And then last game of the season, they are at Denver, and this is why I think Denver beats them.
I still got the Chiefs. I can't pick against them, but I could definitely see them losing one of the games to Denver and to the Steelers.
I got the Chiefs.
There we have it. So I think we all agree that the Chiefs will not run the table.
No, I never said that.
You had Pittsburgh beating them, right?
I said I can see it.
All right, so Mike, because he tried to beat around. Mike likes to do this. He like to.
Nah, I said I can see
navigate
it
through.
happening. I still got the Chiefs. I still got the Chiefs. I'm
We don't
picking
ask
them.
you who's winning that game, Pittsburgh or Kansas City.
Kansas City.
There we go. As long as we get it, you heard it here live in action on the Pick Six pod. All right, cool. Next, we're gonna get in to our NFL Pick'em. Man, we got some good games we're gonna get into.
Like the Panthers and the Giants.
So without further ado, let's get in.
There we go. All right, so Panthers and Giants are going OT. We already picked that game on Wednesday when y'all won. So we got next game we got coming up at 1. We got the Bills and the Colts. No Amari Cooper or Coleman. No Michael Pittman Jr. I believe. For the Colts. Pace note has Bills -4. Clips has Buffalo straight up. I got the Colts straight up.
I'm with you, Mike. I got the Colts.
All right.
I'm gonna go Bills.
Next game we got is Minnesota at Jacksonville. The return of Mac Jones. Clip says Minnesota's -7. In the last game, Buffalo was -4. You wanted Buffalo straight up, right? So,
Yes.
okay. And you wanted Colts straight up, Ty?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, we got Minnesota -7 at Jacksonville. Mac Jones return game. Peso has Minnesota -7. Clips has Minnesota straight up. I'm going to take a flyer on this one. I'm going Jacksonville straight up. I think I want to see what Mac Jones can do.
I got Jacksonville +7.
This is versus the Vikings, right?
Yep.
And Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings.
Brian Flores has never lost to Mac Jones, so that's the only thing that I need to gain
Goes
some
today.
points. I need to gain some points in this. That's another reason why I'm picking him. I wouldn't place a bet on the Jaguars.
He will not today. I meant to say he will not lose to Mac Jones today.
So you want Minnesota straight up?
Yep.
Yep. All right. Next game we got Chiefs or Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs are -7.5. Clips and Peso both have the Chiefs -7.5. I have the Chiefs straight up. The Chiefs don't cover.
I got Chiefs straight up.
I got Chiefs straight up.
Next game we got is Falcons -3.5 at the Saints. Saints got a new coach going for them today, so they might have a little bit of sugar high off that. Peso and Clips got Atlanta straight up. I got Atlanta -3.5.
I got Atlanta straight up.
Same.
All right. Next game we got Patriots at Bears. Bears are -6. Matchup between the number 1 and number 3 draft picks in this year's draft, Caleb Williams and Drake May. It's going to be a windy day in Chicago, I've heard. Myself, Peso, and Clips all have Chicago -6.
I got Patriots straight up.
All right.
I got Chicago straight up.
All right.
That's my freebie, y'all. So enjoy it.
Yeah, free donation to the house.
Until the Pats actually win.
I'm just playing, but next game we got probably the game of the week in my opinion. Steelers at Commanders. The Commanders are -2.5. Peso has Commanders -2.5. Clips has the Commanders straight up, and I have the Steelers straight up. No Seibert today, too, the kicker for the Commanders. I think that's a big thing that's going unnoticed.
I'm going to go Steelers this game.
All right.
Straight up.
I'm going Commanders with the spread.
All right. Next game we got is 49ers at the Buccaneers. 49ers are -6.5. Christian McCaffrey is returning today. I have the Buccaneers straight up. Peso has 49ers -6.5, and Clips has the 49ers straight up.
I'm going to go Niners straight up.
Mm-hmm.
I need some points, so Tampa straight up.
Yep, I like that pick. I'm doing the same thing. Next game, we got the return of Will Levis today. Tennessee at the Chargers. Chargers are -7. Myself and Clips have the Chargers -7. Peso has the Chargers straight up.
The return of who?
Will Levis, born in
Levis.
Newton, Massachusetts. I found out last night I was born at the same hospital as Will Levis.
Oh, I feel so sorry.
Yeah, I know. I have less interceptions than him.
I got Chargers straight up.
That round of applause was because obviously we like to see players come back and be healthy, regardless how bad they play or good they play. But it's a round of applause for your bets. If Will Levis is playing, which is what we're gonna get into right before we close out. But I have I ain't betting with the Titans, so I'm going straight up opposite.
You want the Chargers just straight up?
Yeah.
Next game we got is the Eagles at the Cowboys. Eagles are -7.5. Cooper Rush will be starting today as Dak might be out for the season, but Micah Parsons is also turning today for the Cowboys.
I got Eagles straight up.
So Musa and Clips got the Eagles straight up. Peso got the Eagles -7.5. I got the Cowboys straight up. I just can't pick Sirianni after what I saw last week. I just can't do it again.
You bold.
I'm with you, Mike. I got the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Or the
Cooper
Cowboys.
Rush.
I
Cooper
couldn't.
Rush with CD Lamb.
I just couldn't believe what I saw last week. Some of the decisions that were being made by him. You're lucky to win that game. Next game we went over it earlier a little bit. Jets at Cardinals. Jets are -2. I have the Cardinals straight up. Clips has Cardinals +2, and Peso has the Jets -2.
Yeah, I got the Jets -2.
Who's home?
Cardinals.
I'm gonna go Jets straight up.
Next game we got is a Sunday night game. Detroit at Houston. Detroit's -3.5. Nico Collins is questionable tonight. I have Detroit -3.5. Peso has Detroit straight up, and Clips has Detroit straight up.
Detroit straight up.
Nico questionable. Actually gonna go with Houston. Straight up.
Next game we go is the Monday night game. Dolphins at Rams. Rams are -2. Tyreek Hill's questionable right now. I have myself and Peso have the Rams -2. Clips has the Dolphins +2.
Rams
straight up.
-2.
Ty took the spread for Rams. I'm going straight up.
All right, that's it. That's all the games we got this week. We'll be back on Wednesday for the other games.
Yes, real quick, so we can get the update on the points. For those watching, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. At the start of the show in the season, we decided to do a college and NFL pick'em points list. And last week we had clips in the lead, so I want to get a quick update on on live to know what the points are. If you have it, Mike.
Yeah, just give me 2 seconds. I just gotta have up the college games.
Sure. While you get that gathered up, I'm gonna give some of the viewers some of my favorite picks for today. Right now, some of my favorite picks currently, if you're using DraftKings, I like Mahomes passing attempts under 32.5 on DraftKings pick 6. Other betting lines have him at 31.5. Actually, almost every betting line has him at 31.5. Prize Picks has him at 31. Parlay Play has him at 32.5 as well. A lot of his lines is 31.5 passing attempts minus 119 and as high as 117 odds. So I like him on DraftKings pick 6 to go under 32.5. I do like Jeremy Grant's under on 3 points made. His line on DraftKings pick 6 is 2.5. A few other lines have him at 2.5. Some have him at 1.5. Only FanDuel has him at 1.5. So if you got FanDuel, definitely take that. It's plus 144. You probably get the over on that. And then last but not least, another pick that I will give you guys that I like is Breece Hall under receptions 4.5. Most lines have him at 4.5. A few have him at 3.5. I like his line at 4.5 to go under.
Yeah, a couple I've looked at today. I know the juice is way up on it now, so I don't even know if it's worth betting anymore, but I still would. It's DeAndre Swift's around anywhere between 70 and 74 rushing yards. Up 100-yard rusher almost every game. K-Dot, and I think his line right now is at 52.5 for receiving yards. I'd go over on that. They have no other targets really in Tampa Bay for Baker to throw to. On the other end, I go to the other tight end, George Kittle. He's around
59. Not so much that he got bumped to like 62 maybe. So
I'd still bet it, man, because why? I can't see them using CMC too much. I heard they might use him every other drive, and Debo's questionable. I didn't see yet if he was playing or not. Then Bo Nix to throw an interception. I think that's another good bet. And then Travis Kelce. I like over his receiving yards. I know some of the metrics may say otherwise, but just with PS2 matched up on DeAndre Hopkins, I don't think they'll go to him much. So he's going to have to rely on Kelce. But another one is Darnell Mooney. I believe his receiving yards around 52.5. I go over there, seeing Drake London had an injury last week, and Saints don't have Lattimore anymore, so I can see that one going over. You got any at all, Ty?
Panthers win, by the way, in overtime, 17-20. Bryce Young, no pick.
Danny Dimes with 2.
Yes. No touchdowns. I'm glad they took his passing attempts because he'd thrown 37 times. But I should have took Jatavian Sanders' receptions under because he only got to 2. So even if you would have got that at 2.5 or 3.5, you still would have cashed it. So that line got bumped and moved around so many times because they knew how bad discrepancy that was. Ty's out of here.
Oh, he bounced out. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, you posted some of your X account, I believe, too, Musa, correct?
Yep, and if anyone needs some picks from myself and Mike, Twitter or X accounts is right below. Make sure you follow. We are posting plays. Mike's definitely posting plays daily. I'll post some plays daily depending on the slate. If I'm not too fond of the slate, I might not post something, but definitely follow us if you need some picks.
There we go. Good Ty back.
Real quick, Mike, while Ty gets settled in, What are the updated points?
Yep, I got them right here. So first place is Clips with 209. You're right behind him at 207.
209.
Yep.
I got 207.
Yep. Ty is in third at 182.
Woo!
Peso's in fourth at 174, and he missed a week of picks. This shows how bad I've done.
No, Mike. No.
So I guess that's why you like the Dolphins, huh?
Yeah. We like to stay down in the basement. And I'm at 1 point behind at 173, and I don't know, man. Usually I'm good at this betting stuff and this picking stuff. The past 2 months have been just the worst streak I've ever been on in my life, man. I'm not gonna lie to people, man. It's been rough.
It's all right. It happens. It don't rain forever. But Ty, did you have any
like it
props that you liked?
I probably got 3. Want to say the no-brainer for me, CMC anytime touchdown. First game back, they're giving it to him at the goal line. Even with the limited restrictions, even if they're giving that to him, I think he would just play the goal line anyways. Alec Pierce, his line receiving yards is 33.5. Michael Pittman is out. Joe Flacco, they're at home versus the Bills. They're going to have to throw it. I think he might go over that by halftime. Then DeAndre Swift, anytime touchdown, facing the Patriots. I think that pressure from the Patriots will probably get to Caleb Williams a little more. But I think they're going to play very conservative. So I think they're just going to run the ball.
Clips chimed in, only up 2 points. My pick has been ass lately. Hey, man.
Good.
You can just fade me.
Good.
A wise man once said, don't let us win one.
Good. I'm 20 points away, so you need to keep missing.
You can stay in that room tied with Peso and Mike.
Nah, I'm trying to get away from that.
Well, you can catch up the Clips while I get first place. But in due time. Don't let the Patriots win. I'm telling y'all now, because all y'all got the Bears. If the Pats win today, I should be in good shoes. I should be in the driver's seat. But that's it for the show today, man. Everyone that tuned in, we appreciate you. Thank you. Make sure you leave a like, a comment, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. We'll be back. We'll be back here again on Wednesday at 6 to cover some college football, as well as give our predictions for the Thursday night games. And then we'll be back here with the usual on Sunday at this time, 11:15 Eastern time. Everyone have a blessed, safe Sunday. Shout out to all the veterans. Hope you guys have a great day. Happy early Veterans Day. And stay safe, everybody. Peace.
Peace.
Grade 8.